Alright, so I know the video is titled Longest Noodle Line in Shanghai, and when you see these first clips which are showing you a temple, you're probably thinking, what the heck does a temple have to do with the longest line for noodles in Shanghai? Well, you can see here that actually the longest line I've ever been in for noodles is at this Longhua Temple in Shijiahui district in Shanghai. And these are vegetarian noodles that are served in the temple cafeteria. So today I just finished a meeting in the area of this temple and it's lunchtime. I decided to go get a bowl of these noodles for my lunch. Going to the Longhua Temple for some noodles. So it's actually quite common in China for Buddhist temples to have vegetarian restaurants. This lunchtime rush for this noodle shop is pretty crazy. So temples in Asia are kind of like churches in Europe. If you're a new tourist to traveling in Asia, maybe your first year you're going to visit a lot of temples. And after a while, if you're not a religious person, if you're not a Buddhist, you won't visit temples as often. But living in Shanghai, I know that if it's lunchtime, I can usually get a clean, healthy meal at the vegetarian restaurant if I'm in the area of a temple. So as you can see, even though this line was very long, it actually moved quite quickly. You can see by the crowd, people eating lunch here includes people who are working in the area as well as visitors to the temple and tourists. So in China they practice a combination of religions, mainly Buddhism, Taoism, with some influence of Confucianism. It's estimated that perhaps 1/3 of China's population are Buddhists, so that puts the Buddhist population in China at around 300 or 400 million people. So after about 20 minutes of slowly making my way up to the front of the line, I was finally handed a steaming hot bowl of Buddha's Delight noodles. Because the Longhua Temple has to serve as many as 600 people an hour during the lunch rush, they only offer one dish during lunchtime. And today it's the Luohan Mian, the Buddha's Delight noodles. They are made with a variety of tofu, carrots, mushrooms, bamboo shoots, and all sorts of goodness. So let's get into this vegetarian noodle right here. Let's try some of this soup. Nice soup noodle. Let's try these different mushrooms. Mushrooms are excellent for giving that mouthfeel of meat when you're eating vegetarian. Very flavorful mushroom. So you got some bamboo shoots here. Add a little crunch. So they're running on the honor system here. You take your noodle and then you pay after you sit down. So you can see I just paid on WeChat using a QR code which I scanned on the table. So we just finished the noodle. The exit to the noodle house lets you out right into the Longhua Temple garden grounds. It's a beautiful day. Walking around the temple is a perfect way to digest your noodles. So I did a little bit of walking around and took in the scenery. There's a lot of people who are praying. People in China in general have a rich spiritual life. The lines between different religious sects are not as clear-cut as in Western religion. For example, the Confucian practice of wishing well for your ancestors. This is one of the most important concepts in Chinese spiritual life. So many people at the temples will be burning incense to wish well for their ancestors. Of course, praying to the deities for good health, good fortune. You know, one thing that always gets me, Buddhism seems to be about forsaking material things. But the truth is, if you want health and your family to be prosperous, you do need some level of material well-being. That's how you can explain why people might be praying to a god of wealth for good fortune. A lot of people are out today. Then you can see people are burning incense. You know, burning incense creates this atmosphere of spiritual awakening. walking around an object while burning incense and saying Buddhist incantations is a way of meditation. So they're walking around the Longhua Pagoda while burning incense. This is a way of praying to the pagoda, of honoring it. The Longhua Temple is actually one of the nicest temples I've visited in Shanghai because it has this pagoda, it has these gardens, and it's generally spread out amongst a larger area. So yeah, this was an unexpected surprise for me. I just planned on getting some noodles, but I ended up touring this temple grounds, which was a very nice way to spend some of my afternoon in Shanghai.